Just go somewhere else. I can't take this nonsense anymore. How are you going to blame the defense?
I got the power. Screw green bean. Damn it.
But once you get to the sausage, I feel like we're doing something.
Go Jets.
And that's the other part of it, is the people are insanely jealous of this show. This show gets the best of the best, and it does a different way, with positivity.
He scores!
Ow, my head! No, come on.
What would you give up to see a Jets Super Bowl?
All of my friends and family.
Hit those milk done, boys and girls.
Freeze run.
Hold on to your underwear, ladies, and stand by, bitches. It's now time for Talkin' Jets with your hosts, Matt, Ryan, and Green Bean.
Welcome to Talkin' Jets. My name is Ryan, and I'll be your pilot tonight. Boys, girls, thank you so much for joining us. I am joined alongside my co-pilots. I have filling in for Mr. Green Bean for the first hour, Jeremy from Jets Chaos, and to my that way, Mr. Matt O'Leary. Jeremy, how you doing tonight?
Hey, man, I'm good. A little tribute to Green Bean there. Hey, man. No, I'm good. I'm a little fired up, as you guys know. Anybody on Twitter knows I'm fired up right now. I'm feeling a little pissed off, a little angry, and I want to vent a little bit.
Oh, I can't wait to get into it. O'Leary, how you doing today?
I am doing quite well because I was entertained by Jeremy's angry tweets today. That was a big part of my entertainment. He was really fired up about it. I'm excited to break it down with him. He's not so happy with Haason Reddick, and I'm sure the chat is going to be mixed. It usually, I feel like it is, between what sides people are taking. So it should be fun debates today.
I feel like I should have hit record on this like stream behind the scenes, because some of what Jeremy was like bopping around doing just before like the stream went live was pretty comical. But boys and girls, as you hop in here, make sure you hit that like button for us. It goes a long way. For every 25 likes we get on this video, we're going to pick a t-shirt qualifier /hat /jersey /mug /pillow for our giveaway at the end of the show. And if you guys haven't heard already, we're going to be doing our group buy Jets Broncos tickets on sale over at talkinjets.com. Head over that way. We do have a tailgate option only, and we do have a ticket only option in the event you have your own tailgate that you go to or whatever. But if you'd like to join us, we'll leave the comment pinned in the live chat for you guys to take a look over there, as well as down in the pinned comment on the comment section after this video has aired. But we look forward to doing this. You're going to get your game day ticket. We found out we're going to be in section 312 today. T-shirt, going to have a few different options as far as t-shirts go. Field access after the game, food and drink included, courtesy of Tailgate Joe. And obviously all the music and entertainment of, not that we're singing or doing things, but maybe we'll sing. Matt, what do you like singing? Should we sing? Is that what we're doing?
No singing. This is going to be a business trip. We're going in, getting a W against the Denver Broncos here. I'm here to kick ass and take names. No singing.
Dude, I want Zach Wilson to play this game in the worst way, like more than anything. Jeremy, you're going to be making the trip out this way, it seems like. You excited for the Jets-Broncos game?
Oh, my God. I'm so pumped, man. I'm so pumped. I just want to, again, I'm going to be very careful about using my words now because I got in a little bit of trouble last week. So I just want to say I'm looking forward to crushing them, to just crushing and demolishing this team.
Jeremy, if you guys didn't know, you're going to have to go back. Did we wind up clipping that, or was that just what Matt sent to like the group chat? I think it was just what Matt sent to the group chat.
No, I just said I did not clip it. I'm hoping that someone timestamped it in the comments because it was a great quote.
If you guys don't know what we're talking about, you're going to have to watch last week's Talkin' Jets panel because it was pretty funny. Yep. But all right, let's hop into some comments and stuff that's going on today. Obviously, minicamp is underway. Haason Reddick and Aaron Rodgers, both no-shows. We did know that Haason Reddick was not at camp yesterday for the first portion of the mandatory stuff. Obviously, today was the first practice going on. But Aaron Rodgers is a new name that we did not realize was not going to be in attendance for the two-day minicamp. So, Matt, throw it to you first. What are your thoughts on let's go Haason Reddick first, and then I'll ask Jeremy his thoughts on Haason Reddick. Then we'll go into the Aaron Rodgers of it all. So, Matt, Haason Reddick.
Okay, first on Haason Reddick, not crazy surprising, especially after we found out he wasn't there on Monday for the mandatory media day, which is, I'm a little frustrated. I'm not going to lie. In a perfect world, both he and Aaron Rodgers are in the building. But for Hassan Reddick, I get he's looking for a new contract. That's why he's doing this. He has a $15 million deal for this year. None of it's guaranteed. And, he hasn't really cashed in on that mega deal yet. He had a 1-year deal with Carolina after his rookie deal, and then a 3-year $45 million, which is pretty nice. But I think he's looking to get one last final payday here before he cashes out and calls it an NFL career. It's going to be really interesting to see how the Jets handle this. Do they play hardball and just say, we said when we traded for you, we just wanted to let things play out, and that's tough. You got to suck it up and play on the contract. Or are they going to go, you know what, it's, maybe we'll redo it for this year and tack on one more additional year to align with this the window we think we have with Aaron Rodgers. That's really the only kind of extension I'm interested in. I don't really want to give like a 4-year extension to a 30-year-old Haason Reddick, but if they redo it this year and then add on an additional, I'm okay with it, but I'm not in any rush to, throw the bag at Hassan Reddick.
For those of you guys in the chat, so as Matt mentioned, Hassan Reddick, $15 million contract this year. The highest paid edge rushers in the NFL right now, Bosa is over that $30 million a year figure. Then there's like 4 or 5 guys above. I think it's $28 million with at least 3 of them, if not 4 this offseason that got paid. So he's obviously looking at that saying, hey, wait, I am not half the player that these other players are. So he's definitely chomping at the bit. I feel the same exact way as you, Matt. I don't really want to extend Hassan Reddick. I think there was, obviously it seemed like there was some type of understanding prior to the trade being made because they had the opportunity to talk to him. And then even like going into all this mandatory stuff, I'm kind of inclined to just say, hey, look, you got to be here and like be a good teammate for us. Like we understand you did whatever with Philadelphia. You didn't have any sacks the last, I think it was 5 games of the season. Like what's the deal with that? Plus, Jets got a lot of stuff to figure out. We got potentially only a 1-year window if this thing kind of falls apart, and maybe we don't feel like, blowing the cap on everything. So I'm with you. I would probably prefer a one and done type year with the option to franchise tag. Like if we renegotiate his contract and we say, hey, dude, $15 million fully guaranteed. So even if you get hurt, you'll get your $15 million this year. And then, that gives us the option to maybe franchise tag him after the season, unless he works that into the deal where, obviously you can't franchise tag me. At the end of the season, we'll make, 2025 such an absurd number that you're forced to cut me and then not be allowed to use the franchise tag. Jeremy, what are your thoughts on Hassan Reddick? I heard you were a little salty earlier.
Oh, here we go.
Spicy.
Yeah, I get salty at a player who decides I want to make more money even though I signed a contract. And I'm more salty at their fans. There is actually a base of people who support this nonsense of thinking a contract doesn't mean anything. Did Zach Wilson come to the New York Jets 2 years ago and say, you know what, guys, I suck. I'm just about the worst quarterback to ever live in the NFL. Let me give some of this money back. Let's renegotiate and restructure this contract so we can get you some money back and get you some cap space back. No. Right? They don't give the money back when it doesn't work out. You signed a contract, be a man to your word, and play for the contract. You want an extension? This is how you get an extension. You come out, you work your ass off in camp, you come out, and by the 3rd week of the season, you have 4 or 5 sacks, and you go to the team and say, you see what you can get if you extend me? I don't want to have to go somewhere else next year. Sign me now, extend me now, do it now, or you're going to say be waving goodbye to me. And that's how you do it like a man. But sitting at home, letting down your teammates, letting down the fans, right now, he's a terrorist to this team. He's Alan Lazard last year. He's blowing up this team. And right now, I'm a bigger Alan Lazard fan than I am his fan. I'm not happy with him, as you can tell. And he better look, like if he doesn't want to play, at some point, we should cut off communications with him and say, "Have a nice year off."
So you're out of your you're off your rocker, Jeremy. Now I understand the frustration, and I think maybe like the knee-jerk reaction part of me is like, "Well, screw this guy." But at the same time, the money is not guaranteed. So what incentive does he have to show up to a mini camp where he could pop an ACL and then that $15 million? Oh, sorry, we could just cut you out. Well, I guess you can't outright cut an injured player, but either way, he's not getting that money then. It's not guaranteed for injury. It's not guaranteed for anything. You know, the Jets could even like bench him if they were like super mad or whatever. Like the money isn't guaranteed unless he's on the field. So I think the way you sort of solve this is say, hey, look, you're on the team. We want you to play every game. Your money is going to be guaranteed for this year. If you want to say guaranteed for every game you played, I don't think you necessarily have to do that. And maybe that's enough to be the Band-Aid for the year. And then, hey, look, you're going to hit the open market. We want you to have the best year possible so you can get the biggest contract possible, whether that's from us or some other team, because we're looking for a comp pick, if not, re-signing you. So for a 2026 third-round pick, as much as it's like annoying that he's not there, I'm not really losing a crazy ton of sleep about it because I don't think he's going to take the year off. I don't think he's going to say, oh, $15 million, screw that. I'm sure I'll make way more money in 2025 after taking the season off. Jeremy, before the stream, was talking about Le'Veon Bell taking a year off. Now, clearly two different types of positions, but at the same time, a year off from football doesn't necessarily look great the next year you play. So what team is going to want to give you a fat contract when you didn't honor the contract you were already on? I completely understand both sides of this game. I think the Jets should guarantee his money for this season at the very least, and maybe that's enough of a Band-Aid. Matt, what sort of, Band-Aid, or you'd mentioned maybe an additional year on here. Do you see any way that maybe he doesn't play this year or takes his holdout into the season at all?
No, I don't. I think Jeremy was being a little dramatic. Love you, Jeremy, but I'm going to say a touch on the dramatic side.
I bring the cat.
Yeah, which is fair. Which is why we love you. But for me, I would, to agree with the point that Jeremy made, you almost call us bluff and be like, "There's no way you're sitting out this season." So I don't really want it to go into July and August, though. I don't want it to become an issue. But to answer your question, at the end of the day, like, is he going to sit out his age 30 season? That sounds kind of crazy, no?
Yeah, you don't really make up that $15 million. Like, even if you sign a big contract next year, that $15 million is gone. That is a year off your, contractual obligation. Like, at least with Le'Veon Bell, there was the argument that you could have had, like, they're going to absolutely run me into the ground in Pittsburgh. I had 400-something touches the year before. It's worth my while as a running back to sit out and get the most guaranteed money possible. He turned down a contract from Pittsburgh at the time that would have essentially been like a franchise tag where they could have gotten out of it every single year. So he wound up making decent money from the Jets, but his career, didn't really last long because everything was, kaput after that year off. So you can't get a year back after, taking it off. So I think he's absolutely going to play, and we'll figure that out. Thank you so much for the super chats. I see them in there. We're going to discuss Aaron Rodgers not being at minicamp, and then we'll hop into all that good stuff. So Aaron Rodgers, surprised no-show at training camp today. I'm not going to lie, I'm a little irritated that the Jets called this an unexcused absence if they knew that he had a prior commitment that they were like, that was important to him. Like, why not just excuse it and take away all the chaos, Jeremy, chaos that ensued on Twitter from the remarks of, oh, it's unexcused, it could be a finable offense. I don't see them fining Aaron Rodgers. I would be very surprised if they did it. Matt, what are your thoughts on Aaron Rodgers not being in camp, and maybe what was your initial reaction when you saw it?
Well, first, Nightbot picked Frankie from Flatbush twice from the two times I put the winner in. So sorry to Frankie, only one entry. We're going to put Infrared Jets in for the second one. We love you, but I've never seen that before. That was crazy.
Nightbot's a pain in the butt. I don't know. I think Nightbot is supposed to be like a Twitch bot, and it doesn't fully integrate into everything that YouTube does. So it's, I don't know. There's problems with it.
It is what it is. I apologize. Are we on Rodgers or still Reddick here?
We are on Rodgers now. So now that he was not at camp today, it seemed like a little bit of a surprise, at least to all the fan base. And Coach Salah says this was an unexcused absence. I feel like, for me, I just want to see the Jets. I wish they had just said, oh, it was an excused absence. We knew it ahead of time. We're just going to have Tyrod Taylor be the quarterback or whatever. I feel like there was a lot of extra drama today that we didn't need given the Hassan Reddick stuff.
It does add extra drama. And I had a tweet that I thought was about as down the middle as it could possibly be, and it pissed off people on both sides, which just goes to show you. It was essentially like, the good, paraphrasing, it was like, the good thing is that Aaron Rodgers has been here all off season and done all the voluntary things. The bad thing is, like, optics wise, it's not great that he's not here for mini camp, and this is going to turn into a story. People are like, you're making it a story. I'm like, no, I'm not. I promise I'm not. I'm just saying, like, I don't know, refresh your Twitter account on the main feed and you'll see like all the NFL. That's what I meant. Anyway, I think it's a gray area if they went into the excused absence for Rodgers thing, because then it almost sets a precedent that like you can kind of get out of mini camp for the rest of the team. I think Salah could have handled the answer better when asked about it. He could have said, this is something we knew Rodgers wasn't going to be here, well in advance. This was something that was pre-planned and isn't a big deal, and kind of left it at that. I think his phrasing of like him saying unexcused absence is what really hit home. I don't think he had to like go out of his way and be like, oh, this was excused for Aaron Rodgers, but kind of just say like, hey, like this was pre-planned, this was already in the works, we knew about this, and it's not a big deal, and kind of put the fire out instead of pouring kerosene on the flame a little bit here.
Jeremy, what about you? What did you think about the Aaron Rodgers not being at minicamp story?
I agree with Matt. I mean, the thing that I don't care that he's not there, because he's been for every involuntary, and like we know Rodgers and where his head's at. Like, if you've been paying attention, he's been an awesome teammate. He's been great. Whatever the event is, I'm sure they knew about it, whatever. But I don't like the way they handled it, because they sugarcoat so many things. They sugarcoated Zach Wilson for 3 years, like all the good talk and the positivity and the white lies, like the beating around the bush and not being honest. And then suddenly with Aaron Rodgers, they have to be honest and sit there and say unexcused. Like, why couldn't they just sugar puff that and just say, we knew he wasn't coming. It was all agreed upon. He was at all the, all the voluntaries. Not an issue. Move on.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly where it all comes down to. And I guess how much stock I don't know. I see the national media like, oh, Aaron Rodgers, unexcused. And I feel like that's just the clickbaity headline. And I guess if you had to be concerned one way or the other, it's only 2-day camp. Do we know what Rodgers is doing? It was just a prior commitment. Has anyone like speculated on what it is, other than like, the crazy stuff?
Yeah.
You probably shouldn't have said speculation. Anything that seems pseudo credible.
No, unfortunately not. So like I saw a screenshot of like there's a RFK Jr. event later in the week, and they're like, they're going to that. Well, I don't know, maybe. And then people are like, oh, I got some calls into Just Jets. Spoilers. There's some pretty good ones on tomorrow's episode. I recorded before we hopped on this show, but people think he's out doing ayahuasca or, going on a podcast to talk about the vaccine, or like, I don't know. I'm not willing to take that leap. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt again, because he's been here all off season. And as a reminder, I feel like some fans and even some members on the beat got burned a couple years ago when they were giving 𝐒𝐿·Becton a hard time for not being there when he was with his wife/girlfriend. I forget if they were married or not, for the birth of their daughter. So I'm not going to come out and take a hard stance against Rodgers, because we really don't know the real reason why he's not there.
So I guess follow-up question: do you think Rodgers or Reddick ultimately get fined? Do you see a situation where like Hassan gets fined and Rodgers doesn't? Like, is there any sort of like not even distribution of like, I don't know if it's fairness or whatever. Matt, what do you think?
They're both going to get fined. I think, by Robert Salah saying that it was unexcused, he was like, yeah, they're both subject to the CBA fine. Like, I get it. I think, from Rodgers' side, like if he was okay accepting the fine and is like, hey, like I just want, like, this is really important to me, or what, whatever it is, we don't know. Then that's fine. But I don't think they should be like, hey, Reddick's going to get fined because we don't like the reason that he's not here. Rodgers is okay. Like, I think that's where you kind of get into a sticky situation. So both, I think both end up being fined. They take it, and that's it.
Jeremy, what about you? You think they both get fined?
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers wouldn't allow it any other way. If Reddick's getting fined, he's getting fined, and he'd insist on it. So it's not like he's going to be pissed and expect not to be. He's a real leader. I mean, that's every way I see him. He's been nothing but the truest of leaders. And a true leader would never say, find the other guy, but don't find me. He's probably going to, very willingly pay the fine and set that example for the team. He probably consciously made that decision. Who knows? He could be at a wedding. He could have a friend that's, a bad thing.
Do you know many Tuesday weddings, Jeremy?
Well, it could be like, he's, who knows, part of the bridal party and they're it's a destination. I mean, I'm just saying it could be anything in life. A friend may have needed them. There's just no way to know. And there's no reason to speculate. If he didn't go to any of the voluntaries, then it would feel a little different. But the fact that he's been here, in the building like crazy through his whole rehab, I'm not worried.
All right, we got Jetpack coming in. Jetpack says, Matt equals GOAT. Ryan equals GOAT. Jets Chaos equals GOAT. Go Jets, baby. That's a good one. I like that. A little petting zoo up there on the emoji board. Ryan jumps in with a super chat. Thank you so much. Dude says, all will be okay with the absences. Looking forward to the tailgate against the Broncos. Go Jets. Ryan, we're excited to have you. We are very, very excited. Tailgate Joe puts on a great tailgate. Music, they got like servers walking around, like constantly making sure that your area is all loaded up with beer and all that good stuff. It's a really good time. If you guys have not checked out a Tailgate Joe tailgate and you want to do it, we do have the tailgate only tickets. If you're a season ticket holder or if you have tickets already to the game, you can come out and hang out with us at the tailgate. If you want the whole experience, there's the all-inclusive. You go down on the field, you got the shirt and everything else that comes with it. TalkinJets.com. Blitz Crew comes in, says, Aaron not showing up. Worried about getting 2 more years out of him. Aaron not showing up. Worried about getting 2 more years out of him. With Reddick, hope Will McDonald makes him regret his holdout. Milk thumbs.
Milk thumbs.
I love it. It's such an absurd graphic. Thank you, Blitzkrieg. Look, worried about getting 2 more years out of him. This year and next year is what we're hoping to get. I guess, are you thinking maybe like a rest type issue, or like, hey, we're fine with, some of the, missing of practice. If we I don't want to say bend to whatever his schedule is. I don't know. Matt, what do you think about Blitzcrew's super chat here? I mean, obviously, Will McDonald, if he could show out and make it seem like it's less impactful that Hassan Reddick's here, he could sit out for all he wants. We're going to get that $15 million back then.
That's true, right? Like Will McDonald, depending on how big of a jump he takes, if he has a Jermaine Johnson-like jump, then this is a little bit easier. Unfortunately, I don't think that's fair, expectations for just as Jet fans to have for Will. Like, that was a crazy leap last year that Jermaine Johnson took. I just don't think that's reasonable. If he does it, great. I hope he does. That'd be phenomenal for the New York Jets. For Rodgers not doing the 2 more years, I don't think this has anything to do with it. I don't know if that's what Blitzkrieg is saying, by the way. Like, if this gives us any concern about him playing next year. I don't think so. Again, he's been here the entire time. He's been a good teammate. I don't think it has to do with anything. So it hasn't changed my opinion on whether I think he's going to play next year or not. I'm of the opinion of that he plays this year in 2024, 2025, and then anything beyond that to me is a question mark in 26 and beyond. But that today doesn't change anything for me.
Jeremy, what about you? Will McDonald, do you think he could make Hassan Reddick regret this holdout? Is there any way that you could see that happening? Like, if he takes a big step forward, like, how do you see it playing out if Will McDonald shows out in some of these mini camps?
Yeah, well, look, if Reddick doesn't show up for a long time, then the philosophy of the team, and rightfully should be, you have to earn the spot. You haven't been here, and now you're going to start behind him, especially if McDonald's playing really well. Look, I know he didn't get a lot of reps last year, but if you look at the reps he got, his win rate was right up there on top of the league. The kid flashed a lot. It doesn't mean he's going to have, like Matt said, it doesn't mean he's going to have a JJ-like jump this year, but the ceiling says he can. So, as fans, we could hope for the best, and it's not unreasonable based on his performance last year. So I'm hoping, because I don't think there's a very high ceiling for this kid. So, I mean, who knows what he can give us. I don't think he's really going to impact Reddick that much as long as Reddick comes back, because we have a rotational defensive line anyway. So it really doesn't matter. They're both going to get this, a tremendous amount of reps either way.
See, Hassan Reddick's just trying to help the Jets not give up a second-round pick. I'm convinced that's what it is. He's just being a good teammate. If he's not here for a few percentage of the snaps, he's not getting a certain amount of sacks, whatever. That's how it's all playing out. I'm kidding. Peter S., thank you so much for the super chat, says, it certainly would be nice to not have any drama, injury, or issue during the lead up to another season. We need every player here to contend. So I think every team probably deals with some degree of drama, because contracts are always coming up. There's always something going on. There's always an injury. Like, very rarely do you have a team that's like fully healthy going into the season and then also, not have any contract disputes or things going on. We just tend to have the most noise because we've got like the loudest, I don't want to say the loudest quarterback, but the quarterback that maybe has one of the biggest microscopes on him. And then we are in the New York media anyway. So our noise is going to be ultimately louder than a lot of other teams because drama sells. Jet fans have proven that to the media. We click on all the articles. We click on all the videos. We do all the crazy stuff that gets us all fired up. We respond to all the tweets. And then all of a sudden, they're just pumping out more content like that. That just gets us triggered and mad and angry. Ugh. Matt, what do you think? You think other teams get drama like this?
Yes, but the Jets seem to have more drama. And, like, I don't know, the media likes to play into it. And I think part of it is our fault in a way because of how some Jet fans react to it. Like, if Jet fans stopped reacting to everything that's said about their team and in this, way of clicking and the comments and this and that, like, you're only helping them by engaging with it. So I'm not perfect at it. I have my lapses, but I really try to avoid feeding into that. But the Jets being bad sells. People love to make fun of the Bears and the Lions and the Browns, like these teams that are historically pretty bad. They like to dunk on them. And plus, it's a big market. It's the biggest media market in the world in New York. So that just adds an extra element to it also.
Jeremy, what do you think about the drama that we have going on for the New York Jets versus other teams and their potential drama?
They're always going to overplay ours. I mean, we've had worse things than this. I mean, obviously, as pissed as I am about Hassan Reddick, it's very early in the process. I don't believe a lot of what came out in the story last year. Luckily, the amazing offseason kind of erased it and made everybody forget about it. I think that the media will always overplay our drama, but I don't think we particularly have a lot of drama. I think that overall we're in really great shape. I think the major majority of our players are super happy to be a Jet right now. I think they're super excited. I think our players really like each other. I think they have a nice chemistry. They're building a real bond. So whatever the media chooses to do, whatever they want to focus on, I'm overall feeling really good about this team, and I'm just not going to buy it.
Red John comes in. Thank you so much. Says, I think Salah worded and handled it perfectly. I believe he's talking about the Aaron Rodgers side of things, saying, an unexcused absence. I guess he doesn't necessarily have to answer that. I didn't see the press conference. I was at work. I did not watch the thing. I was just reading the clips. Was he asked, is it an excused absence or anything along those lines? Or did he just unprompted say, Aaron Rodgers in here was an unexcused absence? Matt, could you fill me in on that?
SNY tweeted it if you want to play it. I can find the link for it.
Yeah, if you want to send me the link in the private chat, I'll pull it up. I think I have, pretty sure the other comments that I had are going to play initially. But let's see.
It gives it's almost a minute answer. It's 53 seconds, but there are follow-ups and there's a little bit of a back and forth with the reporters.
Gotcha. Okay, give me 1 second. I'm just going over to that screen. I just want to prep it because I definitely did not set this up correctly before I did this. All right. Boom, boom, boom. Then we're going to share a screen.
Is that Green Bean? Is he back?
Hey, man.
Hey, man.
Dude.
Now, I don't really know about this Haason Reddick guy.
What was that?
I don't really know about this Haason Reddick guy.
Who is this guy and why isn't he in camp?
All right.
Should have gotten ourselves a better tight end.
This is ridiculous. Okay. Let me...
Okay, I didn't know that it would be... it would take you a little bit on that. I apologize.
It is all good. I think I've got it set up. All right. Are we on the screen? Can you guys see Robert Salah right now?
Yes.
Yep.
All right, cool. Let's listen. Just make sure I have up. Gotta activate system capture. All right, here we go.
Is Hassan Reddick attending minicamp?
No, so we've got 2 inexcused absences. One obviously being Hassan. Spoke to him over the weekend. Appreciate the dialogue. He's in a really good place mentally, working his tail off like we already know, and but he's choosing to sit out this one inexcused. The second one is Aaron. Aaron and I spoke before OTA started. He's been very good in communication. He's been here the entire time. It's inexcused, but he had an event that was very important to him, which he communicated.
Both are inexcused.
Both inexcused. Yes.
So are they getting fined? Reddick?
They're both subject to the CBA fine schedule.
All right, so that was a really good response by Robert Salah. I thought that was done well. I thought it was presented well, and then the way he worded it, I think they're subjected to fine per CBA. I feel like if they wanted to waive those fines at some later point, they could ultimately do that. I know we've seen that done when guys get new contracts. It's just like, hey, I know we fined you like $1 million, $40,000 a day at training camp, but hey, we're going to reimburse it in the new contract or something along those lines. So I guess with this context and with, let me see if I can pull up Red John's comment here. There it is. Jeremy, do you think Robert Salah handled this perfectly?
Yeah, again, I was saying before he could have sugarcoated it, but hearing it like that and hearing it again, I'll say he was fine. I have no problem with that, with what I just heard.
No backbone. Come on, guys. No back. The 2 years. He was foaming at the mouth to say 2 inexcused absences. They asked him about Hassan Reddick, and he's like, "Oh, let me tell you about the other one." Also, we also got Aaron Rodgers on there. How I think it should have been handled is Hassan Reddick will not be here. He communicated to us over the weekend. We had a good conversation. He's working on his own. He will not be there. We also have Aaron Rodgers, who will not be here. That was communicated to us well in advance. He has an event, whatever he said, he has an event going on, and we've known about this for a long time. Non-issue. I don't think he had to offer. I think I count. He said it like 3 or 4 times. He said unexcused. He really liked to hammer home that point that Aaron Rodgers was unexcused from minicamp.
I feel like my favorite part of this is hearing that he spoke with Hassan Reddick over the weekend. Like to me, as far as I've heard, this is the first communication that coach has had with Hassan Reddick since we traded for him, unless there was something, beyond that. But I feel like after the comments we heard last week, it's like, why are you saying you haven't had any conversation, or why haven't you had any conversation? I feel like that's, immediately what you do when you get a star edge rusher is reach out to him. As far as things go, could he have, maybe not teed up the Aaron Rodgers thing? Maybe. I will side more with Red John on this one. I think it was a pretty good response hearing it this way. Hype comes in. Hype says, Jets had to report anyone not there. Fines come from the NFL, not the team. Good source told me he had a family ultimatum and he is trying to fix things with father. Ooh, interesting. So Hype, maybe that's what's going on. Maybe he's trying to correct something. That would be... why that wouldn't be an excused absence, I feel like, I don't know. Are there, I guess, how serious of a thing does it have to be excused? Because I feel like if it were that type of thing, that might be able to get excused. I don't know. I think it's all speculation and stuff. But hype, interesting comment if that is what winds up going. Mike D's Nuts says, I'm AF the Broncos and Texans game. I'm at the Broncos and Texans games. Yeah. Love to meet you guys. Mike, absolutely come through. If you've already got your tickets for the Broncos game, make sure you get a Tailgate Joe ticket from the Talkin Jets website. We'd love to have you out there. Or if you're looking to just come out to the game and you want to hang out with us and, sit with us and everything, tickets, talkinjets.com. Texans game, I'm not going to be going to. That's on Halloween. So that one's going to be a no-go for Ryan. Matt, your thoughts on the Texans Halloween game?
No, I don't leave the house on Halloween. I'm afraid of the dark. A big black cat's going to come out and get me. It's going to be Jeremy in a cat suit. I'm not subjecting myself to that. No, but in all seriousness, that's going to be a fun game. I think that's going to be a really fun third. I don't have it in. I was at MetLife on Saturday. I don't like having to take extra trips to that over that goddamn George Washington Bridge. I'm really fired up tonight. Jeremy, I think, has rubbed off on me, but I have some thoughts about the George Washington Bridge. Why do they choose to do construction at the most inopportune times and put it down to one lane for no goddamn reason? Such a pain.
Well, they got the upper and the lower, so you just picked the wrong one.
Yeah, I guess I did. I picked the lower, which is no trucks, and that was a disaster.
Matt, your favorite holiday of the year should be Halloween. You have it so easy. All you got to do is put on a Larry Bird jersey.
I could. Actually, one of my hot takes is Halloween overrated after you exit the trick or treating age. I got pushback on that one. Not a big Halloween guy post trick or treating age. As a kid, awesome holiday. Older, overrated.
Dude, I completely disagree. Halloween is one of the most fun holidays. You get to dress up like someone else. You get to be different for a day. It's a really cool concept for a holiday. Now, I would argue something similar. I would think there's a little bit of a lull period. I think it's fun right through college. Don't get me wrong. I love going out to the bars and seeing all the different interesting outfits that the classmates have on. I think that's a lot of fun. My housemates and I, when we were in going to school at Binghamton, we dressed up like the Village People and did a YMCA at one of the college parties that we went to. Lots of fun doing that. But yeah, I'm a big fan of Halloween. But then I think once you get out of college, then there's maybe a year or two where you're going to a bar or a party or something. And then there's this lull. And then once you start having kids again, we dressed up the girls as the Magic School Bus. So Shay was Miss Frizzle with the planets. We had this big cardboard bus that Becca made. And then Ren was the lizard because she was not moving very much. She was only 3 months old at the time. So she was just a lizard. I had a great time with that. I think Halloween's a lot of fun. So
that's
Jeremy,
different. I think it comes back around when you see, but that's all focused again. I'm sure you took the girls trick or treating, no?
Nah. Well, I mean, we went to the next door neighbor's house. They're still too small to really eat any of the candy anyway.
I'm still counting it. Well, I mean, I think it's different when you loop back around and get the kids involved as a parent, because I think I will come back around on it. But
you didn't like college Halloween though?
It was fine. Why do I gotta dress up as something to go out? I could get drunk any day I want, really. Now I gotta go out and buy a costume and put some effort into something. Pass.
I was Uncle Sam one year, dressed up as a bum one year. I'm trying to think what other ones I've done. It was banana one year. I've gone snowboarding in a banana costume. That's pretty fun. Santa. Done a whole bunch of different costumes. Jeremy, what do you think of Halloween?
I was never, I was a loser, geek growing up, nerd, like we don't know what to do. We don't wear cool costumes. I wasn't like you, Ryan. I wasn't really cool and confident where I could just wear anything and feel okay about it. I was anxious. I was one of those kids you can't even look at for 5 minutes before you say, get out of here. You're ruining my mood. I wasn't, but in college, when I had to do it, had no choice. My fraternity brother said, you got to do a costume. I was a homeless person every single time. I'd carry a spritz bottle, I was washing windshields on a rag, a ripped up t-shirt, ripped up jeans, a hat on backwards, and I would just be like, wash, especially when people pulled up in their cars.
We used to have a few of my, schoolmates would dress up. They'd have the paper bag with a water bottle in it and whatnot. I've always liked Halloween. Now, the confidence that I exude from like dressing up in costumes and stuff is completely unfounded. I am absolutely a nerd in every sense of the way. So I don't know where Becca's like, I hope our kids have your level of confidence because I don't know where it comes from. I was like, I'll take that as a compliment. Thank you very much. Andrew Yale comes in and says, Ryan, I've been busy. Jets logo lit up, looks fire. Andrew, thank you so much. I actually just did it the other day. I went out and I did all arts and craftsy stuff. I got the hot glue out. I went through like probably, no joke, 7 sticks of hot glue to get that thing all lit up. I have all these little tiny LEDs on it that I got at just the right distance, and then I had it wired out the back, wires running through the wall. Looks so good. Wyatt, thank you so much for the sign. Good man, good man. Let's see. I had another comment in here. Where did it go?
I love the sign. I thought when you said you were going to do the LED, I was expecting green. I'm not saying I dislike the white. I like the white better. I was expecting the green. And then when I saw your video the other day and saw the white, I was like, ooh, that pops nice. I like this.
I was looking at it's funny. I decided between green or white. I actually ordered the LEDs for both. The issue with the LEDs that you wind up buying that have the colors, if I wanted to go white, the LEDs, they combined red, blue, and green at the same time to create like almost white, and it's not like a true white. This is like a pure white, so I thought that was kind of cool. I got the green outside. I was going to do the green. I do have a lot less light behind me now, so I might try to figure out a way to like brighten that up a little bit, but very much like the white. Jeremy, what do you think? What do you like? You like the white background, or you think I should have gone with the green?
No, I'm good. I like it when you mix it up. Like, I don't mind when it's just not the same thing every time. So for me, it's like whichever one you want to use, but mixing it up is what works for me.
Oh, thank you. Boogie Down Bronx comes in and says, Jeremy, with all due respect, I think you can be Dr. �ド𝐿𝐴𝐿 from the curb. LOL, greatest show, go Jets. Thank you, Boogie Down Bronx. Jeremy, would you like to respond?
You know, the �ド𝐿𝐴𝐿 had one of the greatest moments on the show for me, where you know, they all met in the parking lot of this Palestinian chicken restaurant, and �ド𝐿𝐴𝐿 showed up and insisted on wearing a yarmulke, and they had a big fight trying to get him to take it off, and it was like I still think about it and laugh. So I'll take it. �ド𝐿𝐴𝐿 had some funny moments on that show.
Let's see. Phil Adams says, going to a bar dressed as the Village People, green bean as the leather pet. I had the police uniform on, so I had, like, you know, unbuttoned a little bit. I was swirling like some fuzzy handcuffs. Oh, it was great. I love it. Knob says Christmas is the best. Christmas is good. It's fun now that we got kids. That's a blast.
Christmas, Thanksgiving, 4th of July, St. Patrick's Day, Memorial Day weekend is my top 5 in that order.
In that order? Is that that's the order you go?
That's the official order.
I would say, I think Thanksgiving might be first for me, then Christmas, then Halloween. You know what? Maybe not Halloween. It was Halloween probably would have been a lot higher early on. I'd probably do 4th of July, Memorial Day weekend. That would probably be mine. I like St. Patty's Day. I just don't like, it's cold in March. I'm not going into the city anymore. It used to be great when I could go to the city and get sloshed. Now I don't. I have responsibilities and stuff. Jeremy, what's your favorite holidays?
Well, Christmas, even though I'm Jewish, was my favorite because my best friend owned a restaurant, and the restaurant catered it, and I was the elf to the Santa Claus when I was a teenager. Like, and it was all my best friends and family, and like people come in from Italy. So that was my best day of the year, Christmas Eve. And then I'd say Thanksgiving after that because of the food, you know. And the next day after that, holiday after that, 3 was Passover, because Passover was really another Thanksgiving. It was the same kind of thing. It was a giant feast. So, you know, with me, it's all about the food. And I loved Memorial Day because it represented the end of a school year. So we were about to be like totally free. So there was like a good feeling that came along with that. And then I guess 5th holiday, I guess I have to say New Year's.
Ooh, New Year's is an interesting one. I never went, actually, no, I went into the city one time. I never went to like the ball drop. I went to like a party. And that was really about it. It was cool, neat. I think for me, New Year's is more of like an at-home event. Like I'd rather do a house party where everyone's just there and you don't have to worry about like, at least up here, I live in the sticks, so there's not like really accessible Ubers anywhere. I went out one time like in town for New Year's. I was like, oh, this is gonna be great. Ghost town. No one's out on New Year's where I'm from up here. So house parties are where it's at. Curly says, dressed up as a bum, so you went as Bob Salah. Ooh,
Wow.
Shots fired. Shots fired.
Oh, boy.
Infrared's laughing at your newspaper and Windex. Oh, where's the... Knob says, I was Buffalo Bill one year and just wore stockings and a bathrobe.
Okay.
It puts the lotion on the skin. Oh, that's creepy as hell. Yeah, definitely.
He's a creepy guy.
Oh, it's great. John says, my Halloween hack is just dress up as Santa Claus every year. Use the Santa suit twice a year. Everyone loves Santa. That's not a bad way to go about it. Let's see. Rico steering it back towards football. What? Sorry, Matt.
So one more. We'll get back on football in a second. Hang on, we got one more Halloween one. No, Peter had a good comment earlier. I saw on the Halloween and was asking what was our favorite Halloween costumes that we dressed up as a kid.
Ooh, favorite one.
Doesn't necessarily have to be a kid, I guess, but I was mine was definitely a kid.
When I was a kid, I dressed up. My mom made me a costume when I was like little. I was big into dinosaurs. I don't know what age I was, but she's like, I'm a big Godzilla guy. She made me a Godzilla costume. I thought that was the coolest thing. I was like stomping around the house. It's like, man, I'm a big shot right now. So I would probably say little kid Godzilla was
cool.
up there. Although I think one of the funnier ones that I did see, I saw a girl at one of our Halloween parties dress up as Mark Sanchez in the butt fumble, and she had like strings hanging from a football, and she was just like pretending to fall the whole time. And I was just like, oh, that hurts, but I respect it. Jeremy, what's your favorite costume?
My favorite costume? I think when I was younger, I had a Captain America, and that was my favorite comic. So, yeah, that was my favorite costume. I had the shield. I loved it.
Matt, what about you? What was your favorite?
I dressed up as Woody from Toy Story.
That's a good one.
My favorite movie as a kid. Toy Story was my favorite movie as a kid. Still one of my favorite movies, and Woody is my dude. So I would say that one. I also dressed up as Mike Piazza like 3 years in a row.
Oh, that's a good one. I've done a bunch of Halloween costumes. Becca and I did Uncle Sam and the Statue of Liberty. I've been able to do a lot of couples costumes. I've been with Becca a long time. Definitely one year in college, she dressed up as a football player, and I dressed up as like a Jets cheerleader for a dorm party. That was fun. Got some fun looks at that. Hold on. Rico the pup had one. Rico says Reddick is on a contract with no guaranteed money. Rather get fined than get injured and not get any money. Rico, that's kind of what I was saying before. I think if the Jets guarantee him this year, then I think you can actually. I think that would be a good middle ground, because if him not practicing is a business decision for him, I'd rather get fined and not lose the $15 million and show up when it matters most. Matt, your thoughts on not having the guaranteed money on Reddick's contract, and you think that's really the reason he's not here?
Yes, I do. I think that is the big reason why he's not here for that, is because he wants some guarantees. So maybe if the Jets change that up a little bit, then that's, all it's going to end up taking here in order to get that done. Some more guarantees, or maybe incentives. Do you think incentives would be enough to get him in the building? Be like, hey, if you hit double-digit sacks again, 5th year in a row, we'll give you whatever, insert number here kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what they should do. Tyron Smith kind of did the same thing. Like, we're not paying him a very high base salary, but if he plays in every game and he plays the level that he should be playing at, he's going to get paid handsomely. And I think with Reddick, if you say, we'll guarantee you 10 or we'll guarantee you 15, and you want to get up to that high number, guess what? You're going to get, a notch for every sack that you get. I don't care if you're sack chasing, just get the sack. Jeremy, what do you think? Guaranteed money the reason he's not here?
Oh, then it's stupid on JD's part. If he just wants the money to be guaranteed, let it be guaranteed. What do we care? In my mind, I already registered the 15 million towards our salary cap, and who cares about the cash? I mean, we have an owner that's rolling in endless money, so that would just be stupid. If really all he wants is the guarantee, give him the guarantee. We already considered it towards our salary cap, so why even play games with that? I have no issue with giving him that contract guaranteed. It's just about the extension and him trying to hold us hostage on that. And I just think that the adult, manly way to go about that is, yes, get your guaranteed money, but if you want an extension, just play your ass off and get it the way JFM got it a few years ago.
Well put. Well put. Clancy says 420 is the best holiday. LOL. Totally did not register that as a holiday, and I would say that is within my top 5. Very much enjoy a good April 20th. Let's see what else we got in here. John says Easter is very good. I don't like Easter. I'm not a big Easter fan. I like the whole the bunny thing's weird. I think I like hiding Easter eggs for the girls, and that's like about it. But like, there's no sports on. It's like very much like a brunch holiday. I don't know. I could probably do without like Easter. I like other holidays more. It's in the top 10, but it's definitely not in the top 5 for me.
That's
Jeremy,
fair.
any thoughts on Easter?
I loved Easter. I mean, I have no problem with it. That was, again, that same family I had Christmas Eve with. I'd usually go to their house on Easter. So, it was like, to me, it was double because we usually, not this year, but typically Passover and Easter were very close together.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just, another time of the year where it was all about the eating, all about hanging out with friends. So, yeah, I mean, there's what's not to love about Easter.
Matt, any thoughts on Easter?
Yeah, I don't mind it. I will say usually, actually, it depends on when it is, but I feel like the weather, like that's usually when the weather starts to turn, and you usually get like a nice sunny day. It's like, hey, I want to like be outside today. You hang out with the fam, go outside, maybe hunt for some eggs, go to church, all the fun stuff.
Rico says, I don't see why anyone wants Reddick to regret the holdout. There is no guaranteed money on his contract. Any agent worth hiring wouldn't let him participate on that contract. I think it's more so the fact that like his cap hit is $15 million, and I think that's where people are coming from. I don't think they necessarily register like, hey, he could get hurt and miss out on all that money. I think it's more of like an uninformed thought than anything else. There's a little bit of bitterness. Obviously, you sign a contract, you should honor it, that sort of thing. And I get it, but I think for the NFL, and at least if it's not guaranteed, I think the players have an argument there. Infrared says his favorite costume was a plastic Voltron back in 1985. That was my favorite.
That's cool.
I got to see what that would look like.
Plastic Voltron?
Unless he's just talking about just a toy, and he wasn't like, did you dress up as that? I think he's talking about that. Unless they're just talking about something crazy in the chat right now.
Definitely looks like
Looks like a Power Ranger.
Yeah,
this is Megazord.
This is definitely a costume. This guy's like full plastic in this costume. Just Google exactly that, plastic Voltron costume, and you will see some wild things, man.
I definitely did not type costume. Oh, interesting. Okay. All right, that's fun. I got you. I was a Power Ranger kid myself. My brother was 3.5 years younger than me, and like, go watch some Power Rangers. And I turn around and just kick the crap out of him. Yeah. He's probably like 5 years old at the time. I'm just like practicing karate moves. Always great. Let's see. Red John says Thanksgiving is just like Christmas without the stress of buying gifts. So that's my number one in my book. That I do like that part about Thanksgiving. I also love that it's football. I'm a big food guy. I like everything that comes with Thanksgiving. It's also like it's like a longer stretch too. Like there's a stress that comes with Christmas and having to buy gifts, and then I don't know. I guess it's cold too. I don't know. Maybe just because it doesn't involve sports much. Now it's gonna have football on it, which I'll be honest, I don't love that football's on Christmas. I'd rather, not have that. Matt, what are your thoughts on like the holiday football games. I guess really it's just Thanksgiving and Christmas. I mean, I guess we get it occasionally, like this year on Halloween. But what are your thoughts on like the Christmas Thanksgiving games?
I love the Thanksgiving games. That's a very good tradition. I don't love the Christmas games as much. I feel like basketball is the Christmas sport.
Yeah.
And they always have, Christmas games on for basketball. I feel like the last couple of years has kind of been a newer thing that there's been games on Christmas or Christmas Eve, depending on, what day of the week that it fell on. But I don't love it as much. And then some of the other ones, like, I don't know, what are the
I guess we just get like Veterans Day occasionally, because Veterans Day is on a Monday, or it's recognized on a Monday, I guess. Columbus Day, if that's still a thing. Halloween, New Year's occasionally, I guess it could fall on.
New Year's Day. I like New Year's Day.
Isn't New Year's Day always the? Oh, did you guys see? Sort of adjacent. The college football schedule and how it's going to conflict with like late season NFL games, like the first round of the college playoffs.
I did not.
Yeah, they're usually the NFL, once college football is kind of off, has Saturday and Sunday games towards the end of the season. Now with the 12-team playoff, you're not going to have that. There's going to be, and I don't know if it's the week prior to our Miami game or if it's I guess it would have to be like the final 2 weeks of the NFL season is going to be thrown for like a little bit of a loop. At least that first, actually no, it's definitely just the first round of the playoffs, because I think every other one is on a different day of the week. But a little frustrating. I like watching the college football playoffs, but I like watching the NFL, and I would love to be able to watch both. So stop it. Don't do that. Jeremy, you see anything about that?
I haven't, but it makes sense. I mean, there's only so many weekends in the year. So if college football is going to extend more, I hope it's on different times, because I really want to watch those playoff games. Hey guys, I have to go. It's my hour's up, and I have an appointment.
That's right. Jeremy, any last words?
Yes, everybody, go check out Brooklyn Brothers Food Review. Matt will tell you about my last review. I'm really proud of it. I think it's my best one. So there you go.
I love it. Jeremy, thank you so much. You've been ejected, and I think I got a... Oh, good. Matt's over here. I wasn't sure if you'd pull over. I didn't set anything up before.
It worked perfectly. By the way, Jeremy, his most recent review is a Long Island staple. He did it when he came down for the draft. He filmed at All American Burger, which for those in Jersey are not from Long Island. If you don't know about All American Burger, it's basically this. The only way I could describe it is like if you picture like your generic like 1950s burger, fries, and shake thing. Mm-hmm. It's like that, but it stayed the same through like 70 plus years. And it's tremendous. It's something you have to hit. One of my good buddies who I do an Islanders show with is from Canada. One of the first times he came to Long Island, I brought him there. You got to go to All American in Massapequa if you're ever on Long Island.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to go out there. I gotta watch Jeremy's video. He sent it to me, and I giggled at the fact that he did it, and I haven't watched it. Sorry, Jeremy. I will get on it. Peter, coming in. Where's my comments? I think it's right there. Come on.
Oh, I had it for a second. There we
go. Peter says, thank you, Matt. My mom made me a devil costume when I was younger. My dad carved me out a rough wooden pitchfork. Very cool. Very neat.
That's a good Halloween costume. That's a scary one.
That is a good one. Scary wise, I don't think I ever did anything scary. My buddy dressed up as a monkey. I dressed up as a banana, and we chased each other around college campus. That was kind of fun.
That's really freaking funny. I never really dressed up as anything scary. That wasn't really my thing. But
yeah,
growing up in like the early 2000s, the Scream masks were very popular when I was in elementary school. And the people, they'd pump them and then like the blood would go through and stuff.
Oh, that's right. You could have it like kind of came down over the mask and everything with the little squishy ball.
Yeah.
Forgot about those. Clancy says Matt should dress up like 𝐒𝐿𝐿 this year.
Yeah, I responded. I said I think I'm too tall. Sorry, Jake.
I was gonna say you could be like the it could be like the before and after Captain America, like before he gets the big injection, and a little be like, that'd be pretty funny.
So I'm seeing. Speaking of Long Island and Jake, I'll be seeing Jake next week on Thursday the 20th. He's doing a Long Island meetup. He's shared all the details. So I'm sure if you watch him, you guys know. But I will be there. Taylor and I will be there. He's just like food trucks. It's like a charity event, so it's for a good cause too. So if you're on Long Island next Thursday and you want to hang out, I'll be there. Jake will be there. So check it out.
Oh, very, very cool. Zachary says, we dress like Adam Sandler all year round. Yep, that is accurate. I feel like that all the time.
That's basically my uniform working from home. It's basketball shorts and a t-shirt. Like anytime I have to go out to run an errand, I feel like such a bum because like people are like dressed up, like, you know, they come from work, whatever. Me, I sit in front of a camera or like edit videos or like, I don't know. I always make the joke like that we work in like the candy store. Like this isn't real life. Like it's fantasy. But yeah, I like actually, was it yesterday or the day before? I had to go to like the town hall in the town where I'm getting a house because I needed to get paperwork. I got a good story with that in a second, by the way. Ooh. But I felt like a bum because I just went out like in this. I was actually wearing my Talkin Jets t-shirt yesterday and a pair of gym shorts. And I was like, I'm doing like an important errand. And they must be like, who let this high school kid in here? Look, that's what I wore yesterday to do my important errand.
Always in gym shorts.
You ready for this story? What a load of BS this is. So I had to go to the town to pick up paperwork on a past survey that was run on the land. Guess how much you have to, or guess how much they charge for you to print out a copy of said survey.
Oh man, we had to do it too, and I don't remember the cost. I'm gonna say $200.
25 cents. I had to bring exact change too. Why?
What? Really?
Maybe
I didn't do it then.
No, it definitely wasn't it. But my realtor was like, hey, she called me and was like, can you go? Like, I don't know when I'm going to be able to get out there. Can you go to, you know, the town? I saw that they said that they have one on file. I'm like, yeah, sure. And they're like, it's 25 cents. Yeah, and you got to bring exact change. And she's like, I got to make a trip out there. I owe them 75 cents from the last 3 that I pulled and didn't have. I was like, this is so stupid. So
that's absurd. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. So that was another thing that chapped me this week.
Daniels says, first Ryan prefers 420 over Easter. Sorry, I do. Now he says Voltron looks like Power Rangers. Those two things are not unrelated. Well, I think it does. I'm sorry. When I look at Voltron, it looks very much like the Megazord. I grew up as a Megazord guy.
I would group those together. I think they look very similar to Power Rangers. Now, I vaguely remember Power Rangers. I feel like I was a little young to be in like the full in on Power Rangers craze.
Yeah, that was definitely like 90s era. It's funny as I got older, I never realized that like it was a Japanese show and they just like added like American like teenagers for like the scenes that they were outside of like the fighting scenes. I was like, whoa, that is totally like blew my mind. I'm pretty sure that, well, I guess it doesn't matter to you, but the Green and the White Ranger, the Tommy, I'm pretty sure he died. Pretty sure that happened like a few years ago.
Yeah,
Crush.
He
was like a hero. They'd play the little like flute thingy and like the Godzilla looking monster would come, like the droid Zord, whatever the fuck it's called, come out of the water. Do 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 do. Oh, I can hear it. I used to have. So I'm bummed you're not gonna probably know this, but they had these little pagers when they had like, oh no, like it's morphin time or whatever. Go beep 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 beep. I used to have that as like my text message ringtone on my phone, like going through college and stuff. It was great until I got too many text messages, and I was like, I gotta put this on vibrate.
Test it, yeah. No, I know like the song, and I know the different colors of the. I like vaguely remember like there was a show too, I believe, right? About it.
Yeah. No, the show is what like I grew up on. I remember the first movie coming out probably like 97, 98, somewhere in there. And like I remember my brother and I watching it, like very cool. Like the first like probably 2 or 3 movies I watched. Now there's like a zillion different kinds and everything. But I was a big dinosaur guy. So obviously the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, where it was a Triceratops, a pterodactyl, all the good stuff. Love my dinosaurs.
Now, what about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? I feel like that was also that's another one that I was kind of like on the cusp. Like I vaguely remember, but that wasn't really like my thing.
That was one of my first video games that I got. I had a Super Nintendo when I was real little, and I had the like not side scroller. Oh, I guess it was a side scroller. And then they had the battle mode side by side. I loved Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I was a big Donatello fan. Donatello was I believe it was the purple one. Raphael was red. Leonardo was blue. Michelangelo orange. Yes, I had that right. Very much liked it. The movies were watching them like over again as an adult. Definitely super campy. Like you could see like the faces and the mouths of the turtles and stuff. But yeah, dude, I was a big, that was the same like sort of era as like Captain Planet and like I'm a big Nicktoons guy. So like all the like Angry Beavers and we've gone through that, down that path. But yeah, very much in the same. Peter says, I volunteer every Thanksgiving to help give away free meals in my hometown. Peter, people need to be more like you. That is a great thing. And actually, I'm glad Peter got picked by Nightbot, so he's in our little giveaway too.
Yeah, he's in a couple times. He had a super chat. He also did a timestamp. By the way, I went through and did the timestamp episode or numbers from last week because I wanted to mix them up.
Ooh, I like that.
So he's in here a couple times.
Brian says, how good does Reddick have to be worth a more expensive contract and losing a possible second round pick? 10 sacks, 15 sacks, 20, 50? So, Matt, remind me again, what is the stipulation in his contract? Is it 17 sacks and a percent or playing time? I feel like 17 is sticking out to me.
65%
of snaps? 65%
of snaps. And it might have been double digit. I don't know if 17 was the number.
So maybe it was double digit. Or maybe it was and. Was it an and? He had to hit both of them?
Yes. It is an end. Yes, that's what it was. Because the 10, we all were like, he's hit 10 4 years in a row. I think he's going to hit 10 again. But I don't, and it was actually 67.5%. So it was higher than 65.
And I think the only player that hit above that number was Quinnen last year. And I think he was just above it.
Yeah, I'll tell you
exactly.
Was last year.
Most of our guys are sitting around 54 to 60.
You took the words out of my mouth. That's where I was going. The 69% was Quinnen. Good memory.
Ooh, man, I'm good at this. It's almost like I made a video about this at some point. It just hangs out in the back part of the knowledge space back there. So I guess what would you think? I don't want to change the stipulation for what. Well, the stipulation doesn't change because of the trade, right? Like, I'm going to make sure if I'm the coach or the GM or whatever, that he does not exceed the playing time threshold. I do think he's going to get the sack threshold. As far as, to be worth it, to be more expensive, I mean, he's got to hit like 15 sacks and then be here, 2 years. Like, I don't really want to give him a big raise for just a year and then he's out the door anyway. Like, if that's the case, just guarantee him his money and it is what it is. That, like, to me, if you could franchise tag him next year, which I'm sure he's not going to like because it's the average of the top 5 at his position over the last 5 years, not just the top 5 at the position for an individual year. So the franchise tag is definitely not as lucrative, even with these guys getting their big deals this year. So I don't know. What do you think you'd have to hit to justify a higher pay raise?
Well, based on what he's performed at the last few years, he deserves to be at more. So I guess it's like, what would he have to do this year? I think we're looking at it backwards almost. Like, if you are to extend him, then what does he have to hit in year one to make it seem like, okay, that's a good year? And for me, it's like, I don't know what he did last year. 11.5 sacks? It gives you 12 sacks again. Then I'll be like, all right, yeah, cool. But we'll run him back again in 2025 and hope he's just as good.
That's a good way to think about it. Rico says, Jeremy rubbed off on you. I think there's a cream for that. Oh, thank you. What's up, Frankie? Frankie says, I don't think we're paying Reddick beyond this year with all the others who need to be paid. Yeah, there's this like weird, delicate balance that I think Jet fans find themselves in, and I know I'm certainly in that same camp, where I do want to go all in for these next 2 years. and I'm fine with mortgaging a little bit of the future or future assets or whatever it is to try and, give us the best shot this year. But I also see our young players and say, that's our young core. I want that to be our Revis, Mangold, Brick, Harris, sort of core four. And I think if you give Reddick what he's worth, in the same way that if you give Reed what I think he's worth, like I think Reed is worth a heavy contract as well. And I view them very similarly in that they have earned it, but I just don't think the Jets should do it from the business side of things. For me, I agree with Frankie here. I don't think the Jets will pay him beyond this year, and I think the intent is for him to ball out in a year we're going to have leads, and then us lock in a comp pick in 2026 that we essentially gave up to bring him in here to begin with. Matt, your thoughts on Frankie's comment?
Yeah, I think that's fair. And based on the Connor Hughes reports, that sounds like what they've said is that, their intention was they were going to let this year play out and see. They're loading up for this year. They have a lot of one-year deals, and Morgan Moses and Tyron Smith and Mike Williams and guys that aren't tied into 2025. I think for me, really, there's only two options with Haason Reddick, and it's that you let this year play out and that's it. You let him walk. Maybe you get a comp pick, whatever, fine. Or you redo the contract so that he's here this year and next year with maybe it's like a one of those fake 3-year deals that are really like a 2-year deal for like and replaces this year and next year. And then it aligns with that window we talked about where we're assuming that Rodgers is here in 2025. But I don't want to be having to pay Haason Reddick in 2026 and beyond, I think is the main point that we're trying to come to here.
Yeah, I completely agree. I see Slugo in here brings up a good point. I see Breece balling out so much the Jets are going to have to pay him. Yeah, if and when Breece balls out this year, which I think, I don't know if it was Pro Football Focus or one of the analytics sites that had him listed as one of the top 10, was it weapons? Or I think it was fantasy draft picks. I think he was listed at like number 6 or something like that. And there were people like complaining about like, how could Breece Hall be on this thing? Especially ahead of Bijan Robinson. I was like, hold on. He had more yards and like more touchdowns and less fumbles than Bijan Robinson. And he's coming off an ACL tear. And like, I don't know what to tell you. Like Bijan played more snaps too, a higher percentage of the snaps than Breece. So we're going to run into a situation where I do think Breece is going to ball out. And if I were him, I would try to get the contract after this year. And we just saw Christian McCaffrey sign a 2-year, $19 million a year contract. And I think that's absolutely in line with what Breece should be getting, especially assuming he winds up, crossing that 2,000 yard threshold on all purpose yards and has the season we all kind of hope he has. Now, you get in this weird, delicate balance with him too, because it's the running back. Like, how much do you want to pay a running back that far out? And I try to view him more, and with certain running backs, I try to view them more as like a weapon, because I view him almost as like a receiver that also runs the ball. So I don't think the wear and tear on him is going to be quite the same as like a player like maybe a Derrick Henry or maybe your more natural bruiser of a running back, the same way like Le'Veon Bell, ran the ball. I would be inclined to pay Breece next year, especially considering if Rodgers is coming back, then you want to really, figure it all out and have the Super Bowl run. He'll have a bunch of leverage next year. If this team is going to ride on Breece this season, he's probably looking at a holdout for next year. And I would like to see us pay him and then stretch that money in like a 3-year contract. So we get the 4th year from Breece and 2 additional years that would have been, franchise tag caliber years, but you're paying him guaranteed money. So that way he gets it. He has the security of it. And, you lock in an elite player at the position.
We are in lockstep right now, because I was going to say that there's, again, really only 2 ways to go about it. Is you let the 4 years of Breece play out, and then you franchise tag him for that 5th year. And then it's like after that, I guess, is TBD. Maybe you franchise tag him again, but usually it's a one and done on the franchise tag. Or you do the extension after this year. What you can't do is wait the 4 years, let the 4 years just play out on the rookie deal, and then give him another 4-year deal on top of that, because then you're paying him probably big money into the later 20s. And that scares me. Unfortunately, like, 27's the year. He's going into his age 23 season this year, which is his 3rd year. he probably has 4 more good years after this upcoming one. So as you said, you rework it for that last year of that deal, and then you tack on an extra 2 or 3. And I think that's how you handle it. And he's probably going to be a $15 million a year guy, I would think, which would put him about second in the NFL behind Christian McCaffrey in terms of AAV.
If he winds up getting offensive player of the year, that dude's going to make just as much as Christian McCaffrey. Like I think it was Rich Eisen that said like the best case scenario for the Jets is comeback player of the year for Rodgers and offensive player of the year for Breece Hall. I mean, that is Super Bowl caliber performance if we wind up getting that. I am definitely team pay Breece earlier as opposed to waiting. And then you wind up, especially since his contract is going to be a year later. Like I love going back to this question of draft night, and we weren't able to get back into the first round to get Breece Hall. How much, knowing what he is now, how much more would you have given up to get into pick 32 to get the 5th-year option on Breece Hall? Matt, what would you forego Ruckert, Clemens, Mitchell, plus maybe something else to have that 5th year of Breece? Or do you value the 3 players that we got plus whatever that other asset would have been?
Yeah, I get where you're coming from on that. I really do, right? Because that's probably what it would have had to take in order to move up to get him. But I'm okay with Breece being the one that, they took in the 2nd round. They don't have that 5th year option on, but I still think it could work out with how we just laid it out, and preferably the pay him right away one. I'm usually not a pay a running back guy, but he would still be he would still be young and in his prime. It's not like he was 23 when he came out of school and then he's 28 years old out of his rookie contract and he gets a deal. Like that's not the situation. He's going to be 24 when his rookie contract's over. So again, 3 years after that, let's say, that's 7 years in total. I'm comfortable with 7 years of Breece Hall, I think.
I don't remember. Were we supposed to have Dom C or Tego on today? I don't know who it was, but someone no-showed on us.
I don't know. I was surprised when Jeremy was on. I didn't know who it was going to be. That was news to me. I knew someone would be in Green Bean's place, but I didn't know who it was going to be.
Red John says, "You're lucky, Matt. I almost paid $800 for a survey. Lucky I found mine in some old paperwork." Yeah, I'm going to have to go back. I feel like I remember paying money for the survey, but I think we had to actually have it done. I don't know if they had it on file.
Yeah, so moral of the story is I'm also going to have to get another survey done. So it's going to be, mine's not going to be quite 800. I lucked out. I think mine's going to be around 600, which is apparently pretty good for a survey. So 600 and a quarter I'm in on this whole survey thing.
Brian says, if Ryan lights his hair a little lighter red, then he could be Prince Harry for Halloween. I was told I look like Keith Carter.
Yeah, I could see why with the beard and like the spiky-ish kind of.
That's exactly what it was. Someone sent me a picture. I was like, ah, damn it. I definitely do.
A little bit. A little bit.
Peter says, yes, but as a child of the 80s, Voltron predates Power Rangers by 15 years. I'm not sure if that's accurate. I guess it depends when Power Rangers was shot in Japan. Because if Voltron's an 80s thing, I don't know. I don't think we immediately got Power Rangers the same year that it was filmed. That would be, you know what? I'm going to do Google.
Why not? Let's see. 93 apparently was the release year for Power Rangers.
Yeah, but 1975 was, so I typed in Power Rangers Japanese, and it says 1975 was when those fight scenes were filmed. But is that accurate? Let's see. Yeah, the first debut of the red, blue, yellow, green, and pink Rangers. Longest running. Yeah. So technically Power Rangers came first. Unless Voltron was in the 70s as well.
Could be.
Let's see. Slugo was a huge Ninja Turtles fan and Ghostbuster toys. Ghostbusters was a good one. Ghostbusters was a little predating me. That would have been like mid 80s. I think those movies came out. I mean, I watched them as a kid, but I used to watch, there was a cartoon, that I remember watching, and that's where it kind of stuck out to me. Ace of Spades says, can we afford to pay Sauce, Breece, Garrett, and JJ? So I think Sauce is a lock to be a lifetime Jet. I think the marketability of Sauce, I think everything, the no drinking, no smoking, the way he's handled himself, 2 All-Pro years in a row, Defensive Rookie of the Year, like this dude's a stud. I don't think he's going anywhere. I think Breece Hall on a Band-Aid contract. I think of these 4, the most likely player that I could see leaving is Garrett Wilson. And I think that's going to be contingent on how long Aaron Rodgers plays for, because I don't think Garrett Wilson is going to want to play with another rookie quarterback, given the way those first few years of his career went. And I also think if there's a situation where, let's say we blow it up after 2 years of Rodgers, whatever regime comes in is going to look to see what assets they could move for the most amount of capital for draft. And I feel like Garrett, because of how lethal he is, I don't want to see him go anywhere, but I think Garrett is the one to me that sort of sticks out as like, man, I hope we can keep him, but I have a hunch of those 4, he's the one outside of like Breece being like, I could see Breece and Garrett both leaving the same year because we have extended Breece and maybe we franchise tagged, Garrett Wilson or something along those lines. And that's how those 2 contracts ultimately play out. What do you think, Matt?
That's really tough. I don't want to live in a world where they have to make that decision, right? Like how do you make, it's like, which kid do you love the most as a parent? Like, how do you answer that question? You can't.
It's terrible.
I get what you're saying on Garrett, and wide receivers move a lot, but my gut was Jermaine Johnson of this group.
You think Jermaine leaves?
Well, my real answer is I think all 4 are able to stay. I think they can figure out a way. They're not gonna, like, DJ Reed won't be here, and any other kind of vet free, like Tyler Conklin won't be here, and
Mosley will be gone by that point.
Mosley, and maybe you're not giving Quincy Williams another contract after that. Like, you're gonna have to make some sacrifices on the roster in other areas, but I think you can figure out a way to retain all those guys. Especially, by the way, to do it, you got to have the rookie quarterback contract to make that work.
Yeah, for sure. I think you're looking at a situation where I think they hope that why am I blanking on his name right now? FSU quarterback.
Jordan Travis.
What's his name? Jordan Travis. There it is. I think you're just hoping that maybe he can turn into something by the time Rodgers is done. And if he's not, then he competes with whoever the rookie winds up being, and you hope you hit at that point. If you get that rookie contract, or at least even if, Jordan Travis starts for a year or competes with a veteran for a year, and that rookie that we draft ultimately sits for a season and gets that redshirt year, maybe that's like a best case scenario. I don't know. We'll see. Can we afford to pay him? I think we can. I mean, we've seen other teams pay it. How the hell are the 49ers doing it? I mean, obviously the rookie contract for Mr. Irrelevant, but they've got Debo, they've got Christian McCaffrey, they've got Nick Bosa. I mean, they got a bunch of high-priced dudes over there. Ayuk's not getting paid he's on his 5th-year option, so that's not cheap. So
they have, let's see, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys with $14+ million cap hits.
Wow.
For this year. They have Ayuk, Bosa, Charvarius Ward, Debo Samuel, and Trent Williams.
Okay. Can you rattle off what those cap hits are? I know Bosa's average per year is I think 31.
Yeah, but his this year. Oh, yeah. Sorry. It's Ayuk is 14.
Okay.
14-1 actually. Bosa's 14-7. Charvarius Ward is 18-4. Debo is 28-6, and Trent Williams is 31-6.
Damn. All right. If they can do it, we can do it. I mean, that's 4 players right there. So if you figure out the rookie contract and you sacrifice a little bit of the back end of the roster, like maybe you don't have as much depth, or you just got to rely on the draft a lot better. The nice thing is this feels like the deepest team that we've had since I've been watching Jets football. I mean, even the Rex Ryan years where we were really top heavy, we didn't have any depth behind us. Like right now, aside from maybe linebacker and safety, I feel pretty comfortable with where this team is at. Like even the offensive line, while it still gives me my concerns with, how does Moses return from his injury? How does Tyron Smith hold up? What does AVT look like post Achilles injury? Having Olu definitely kind of lessens that fear to some degree. So got to build out the roster then. Got to do it. Hype says, give Core 4 all 3 years, $25 million extensions after this year with play incentives to make more. I think if you bring them all to the table, same number with a chance or more. No, you don't do that. I don't think that's the way to go. I think, I mean, it would be great if they could be like, hey, yeah, team first, you know. But like at the same time, that's just not how negotiations work with players, especially with the wildly different rates that guys are going to get. Like, are you going to give Breece Hall and Jermaine Johnson $25 million a year when Garrett Wilson just sees Justin Jefferson get $35 million a year? Like, if I'm Garrett and he has the season we're all kind of hoping he's going to have, you know, he's going to be north of 30. I think Sauce is going to be at 30 million. I think he's going to get a 5-year, $150 million deal is what Sauce will get. Yeah. I mean, it could work out to be like an extension, so we don't see that massive cap hit until like further down the line. And I would say this, to Hype's credit, I would extend guys after this season if you could, because then you can hit some of those higher cap hit years that would hit you later on. You can make some of the lower cap hit years a little bit more elevated to help you out on the back end. Not to mention with each successive year, the salary cap continues to go up and increase. So, you know, 10 million today is not 10 million next year. 10 million next year might wind up being like closer to $8.5 million. So as you continue to, like, I think this year we went up, what did the salary cap go up? $20 million or something along those lines? Like, that's a lot of money. And I don't know if it's going to go up that way every single year, but if it does, then you feel a little less worrisome handing out money further down the line. But I like our guys. If you lock them in, then everyone's dialed in for the next few years. I don't think it changes anything. Or I think it changes. It doesn't change. It changes things in a good way, I think. I think it's investing in players that are on your roster as opposed to where we've been the last few years. Like, Quinnen was the first domino to fall because how many times do we see Le'Veon Bell? I mean, C.J. Mosley's been great, you know, the last few years, but C.J. Mosley was that same type of overpay for a free agent outside of here. Jermaine Johnson, same sort of thing. So us actually retaining our own guys, I think sends a big, important message to the rest of the locker room and says, hey, you play well for the New York Jets, you're going to get paid handsomely. And I think Robert Saleh did say when he came in, I want you guys to get paid well because that means you're playing well.
100%. It's instead of, hey, we're going to go out and spend big in free agency, which we saw them do. The Mike McCagnon era, they threw money around to Le'Veon Bell and C.J. Mosley and Jermaine Johnson, and you know, some worked a lot better than others, clearly on that list. But moral of the story, as you said, they did that because they drafted like absolute garbage and their roster stunk. So Mike McCagnon pivoted to free agency. Joe Douglas with the 22 class, at the very least, we know that there were hits and that, you know, you're going to be able to pay your own guys. The Jets weren't paying their own guys in that era. The only first rounder they gave a second contract to was Mo Wilkerson. All the other guys they were trading ended up getting traded away or just wasn't any good, and they let walk. Like Copels was gone. Richardson they traded away, D. Milner gone, Darren Lee gone, Jamal Adams would get traded away. Like, they weren't paying anybody.
Mm-hmm. Definitely not a good example to set.
No.
Ace Spade says Voltron, Thundercats, and Ghostbusters were all the 80s. Yes, they were. G.I. Joe and Transformers as well was the 80s. Yeah, that's a good era of like cartoons and shows and stuff. Movies as well. Lots of good stuff out in the 80s. I see. Oh, where did it go? I saw Where is Green Bean? There it is. The Wedge says, hi, fellas. Where is Mr. Green Bean? Mr. Green Bean has taken the month off. We've said it's all right. You don't have to hang out with us. We miss you, Green Bean. It'd be cool to hang out with you. Nice. Yeah, he's taking a little bit of a break before the season starts.
He was like he was in a river. He sent a picture of a river recently. That looked awesome. I was very jealous.
He was like, he's chilling. He looks like, you know, those grizzly bears that are hunting salmon. Like, that's what Green Bean looked like, just sitting there. Although he was kind of lounging. He's waiting for a salmon to just swim into his mouth. I don't think he's actively hunting, as it were.
No, not so much. Hunting is putting it. He's hoping a fish swims upstream right into his lap. That's what he was hoping for.
Clancy says, we can pay all four. Got to know how to circumnavigate the cap. Yeah, we can open up a hot dog stand and pay Breece to own the hot dog stand, and the hot dog stand is going to make $20 million a year, and Breece is going to take the base minimum. It's not like other players haven't done it. Tom Brady, TB12 clinic up in New England, is he's the CEO of the TB12 clinic. It's the medical clinic for the Patriots, but none of that money counts against the salary cap. And lo and behold, he takes the lowest. He was only paid as a top 10 quarterback once in his career, one time. It's absurd.
That's crazy.
Absolutely nuts. Frankie says, we're not blowing anything up. Jordan Travis takes the baton after A-Rod. I hope so. That would be really cool. I think it's definitely a long shot to hope for it, but I would love to see that happen. Where did I see this? Josh comes in. Josh says, if we go 7-10, does JD stay? No, I think everyone goes. If we go 7-10, I don't think anyone stays. I would like JD to stay because I think the groceries are there to have a really nice feast, a really good meal, if you were. But I have a hard time unlinking Salah, Rodgers, and Douglas after the whole Zach Wilson thing. Now, maybe you argue that, the stars we got and the roster we have was good enough to win with, in spite of maybe bad coaching or in spite of Zach Wilson. What do you think happens at 7-10, Matt?
They're both gone. And Aaron Rodgers is gone too. I know there's context to things, right? Like maybe there's a caveat in there, like Aaron Rodgers' head fell off on the third game of the year, and then they went to Tyrod, and his foot fell off, and then Jordan Travis played. Like something weird happened, then maybe. But if they go 7-10 for a third year in a row, I don't know how you justify running back the same group and just be like, yeah, it's gonna work this time. It just has to.
Clancy says, Rams had Stafford, Donald, Ramsey, and Whitworth making huge money. Yeah, and they didn't have a first-round draft pick until this year. Before this season, the Rams' last first-round draft pick was Jared Goff. That's insane.
That was insane. But it worked for them. They won a championship, which is obviously the goal, but they were also really good. They went to another Super Bowl in that era. They made the playoffs multiple times. I would say that was a resounding success, that aggressive era for the Los Angeles Rams.
Ricky calling me out says, y'all remember when Ryan thought Sauce said, I'm getting 30 from New York? I do remember. And guess what? I'm standing by it. I don't know if I actually deleted the video. I think I hid it on my channel because I realized I'm just a millennial. I don't understand the lingo that these guys are speaking in, or even though the subtitles on the video that I was watching said 30 from New York, I think he's going to get 30. I think it's going to wind up being what happens. Unless we sign him this year, then whatever the top cornerback contract is probably like 23, 24 million. Does that sound about right?
Right now, the highest AAV is 21 million. So I think 30 is aggressive. I think 25. I'm at around. I'm going to say 22 to 25 million is where he ends up.
If he signs this offseason, I think that's probably about right. If we wind up taking it to the 5th year option and he has to play out another year, or if he just gets another all-pro year, it's going to be hard not to pay him wildly above the other corners in the league. Because what was the top? Is there one other receiver? Is Devontae above 30 million on an annual average salary? I know Tyreek is close, but he's not going to see the end of that contract. I know. How much higher is Jefferson than the next player?
Jefferson is $3 million more than A.J. Brown's 32.
Okay. A.J.'s higher than I thought. Did A.J. just sign? Or did he have that before? Was that when he got traded?
No, A.J. Brown just signed.
Okay. That's high. I didn't realize he got that much. Interesting. All right. So, yeah, receivers are going to get paid a lot.
Tyreek, Amon-Ra St. Brown, A.J. Brown, and Justin Jefferson are the highest AAVs.
Did you see the comment about Tyreek Hill from his agent saying that, we're in contacts with the Dolphins. We know where Tyreek is. I remember hearing at some point Tyreek wanted to retire a Dolphin, and I think he wanted to just play out this contract. I don't think he was really looking. I mean, obviously, if he can get crazy money, I'm sure he would continue doing what he's doing. But I had heard at one point he wasn't gonna continue going. I don't know. I would love to see them get in a contract dispute. That'd be fantastic.
Please.
Especially after Waddle just got top 5 money.
Yeah, he got massive. Waddle, I believe Waddle is 6th. Yeah, no, I'm wrong. So Tyreek by AAV, Tyreek Hill is 4th at 30, and Jalen Waddle is 5th at 28.25.
Damn, there's a lot of cheddar. Slugo, thank you so much. He says, hey, I give old Ryan's ass credit. He called Sauce from the get-go Ryan the Soothsayer. Soothsayer. I don't know what a soothsayer is, but either way, thank you. I was all on board Sauce, dude. Revved up. I don't want to see him go anywhere. It's kind of cool too, because Gardner is my wife's maiden name, or no, not my wife's maiden name. It's family name on the on my wife's side of the family. So I got the girls 2 little Sauce Gardner jerseys, so they got their little number 1s. I'm hoping, I haven't seen anything for the Jets in the green and white scrimmage. I hope they're going to do it. I think they release that once they release like the training camp dates and stuff like that. I hope they do a green and white scrimmage this year.
Me too. I haven't been to one since
you, me, and Ali.
Yeah, when was that? 21?
That had to be.
Or was that?
So they didn't do it last year because of the Hall of Fame game. I think it was the year before. Was it 2002 or was it the year before that? It was either 21 or 22.
I think it was 2021. I believe I was away in 2022. So I'm pretty sure I haven't been since 2021. I was just thinking about that the other day. I want to do the green and white scrimmage again.
I hope they do. That's actually one of my favorite events that the Jets do throughout the year. It's like, it's laid back, you know, everyone's sitting in the lower part of the stadium. They usually have some people signing stuff. I hope that happens. Mikey comes in and says 49ers paying a quarterback the least possible for a drafted player so they can spread that money around. Sauce is going to be expensive as hell, but the cap goes up every year, so who knows? Yeah, I mean, look, I challenge to find a better player start of a career than Sauce Gardner. Like 2 years back-to-back All-Pro, very, very hard to compete with. The guy say, hey, what do you want? Put it on this check. We'll go cash it.
Yeah, I mean, how do you say no to Sauce? He has done everything you could have possibly wanted out of him in the 2 years he's been here already.
Mm-hmm.
You can't ask for anything else. Like, if you're gonna pay someone money, Sauce Gardner is that guy. Like, he doesn't have an attitude problem. There's no off the field issue. There's no suspension. Like, he's been a perfect New York Jet.
Completely agree. Ace of Spades says, Matt, go back to playing your show's theme sound longer.
Yeah, that was my bad. I was pulling up YouTube, and on my homepage, I had a pinned video, and it automatically started playing on that. So that was my bad. That's what happened. I do that pretty constantly because I love doing the show, and obviously I'm very locked in, but I'm also like checking Twitter and looking on YouTube to just to see if anything's going on while we're live. You know, this is part of producing as we're on the air, you know?
Absolutely. And I appreciate it because I can't look at stuff while I'm doing this. I got too many friggin' windows open.
So I'm always poking around and checking on things while we're talking, and I was pulling up YouTube and my video started playing. So that's what happened. I apologize to headphone users because I know that was probably loud. That was not intended.
Frankie saying, good info here. The key for the Jets will be Woody Johnson having as much cash as possible to make the signing bonuses as big as possible. The one thing I'd love to see the NFL do is getting rid of the escrow that you need for guaranteed money in a contract, because that is a backbreaker for some teams where you have to say whatever the guaranteed money is has to go into escrow immediately as of contract. It's not necessarily the gamesmanship of the salary cap each year. It's like, hey, if Kirk Cousins signs his $180 million contract or whatever the hell he had in, or I guess it was $90 million in Minnesota initially, that $90 million immediately goes into escrow. Not fun. So that is going to be an issue. Hopefully that Johnson & Johnson money, cash out some stock, Woody. Let's make it happen.
Unfortunately, Woody's a cheap fuck and complains about he's been seen on camera multiple times complaining about the cost of things. So it's up to him. He's got to open up the piggy bank and pay up the big money. Maybe sell your Woody Johnson chain and forward some of that to Sauce.
That'd be great. How much do you think Woody's chain costs? I don't even know what something like that would cost.
Yeah, right. I was gonna say I don't even know where to begin to try to find that out.
I've never gone shopping for such a thing. Let's see.
Probably on Amazon for $30.
Frankie says, so everyone should buy stuff that makes Woody rich. I've been buying jerseys and lighting them on fire every year. That's what's been going on. Hopefully the jerseys I bought the last 2 years are players that are actually going to hang around the team a little bit longer. It'd be kind of nice. Stuff gets expensive.
It does. What jerseys did you get this year?
Jerseys this year. So I got the Garrett Wilson green number 5. I want to get the JJ green 11. That's the one I haven't gotten yet. That was sold out when I tried to get it initially. Those will probably be the only 2 I get. I do like the Braylon Allen 0, but I kind of want him to be like good before I buy the 0.
Yeah, agree. That's one I think you got to wait on. I love the idea of 11. Actually, I was talking with my sister Tara yesterday, actually, and we were talking about the Jets and what jerseys, and she was like, I really like Jermaine Johnson. Like, I think that's the next jersey that she wants to get. Because she likes the new uniforms, and she's like, I want to get a new jersey, but I don't know who I want to get, but maybe she's like, I like how the 11s look on the new uniforms. Like the 11s and the 7s, big upgrade.
I do. Oh, I love how Sauce called out the number 1s on the old uniforms looking like a stick of butter. That's straight out of Talkin' Jets. That right out of Green Bean's mouth.
I was gonna say, I think we said that 3 years ago.
Yeah, dude. Like the stick of butter. And not to mention, like, the 11 didn't, like, look great. It looks like the Twin Towers or 2 sticks of butter, whatever you want to say. Like, that font was just ugly as hell. This font, way better. Way, way better. Let's see. We've got Ace of Spades saying, Ryan, are you and Matt friends outside of the show? No, fuck Matt. I hate this guy.
We don't talk. We never talk, actually. It's like Mike and the Mad Dog in the early 2000s. We don't say anything. We just come on the air. And we talk, and then we say, all right, we do the double bird as we head off the air, and then we do the same thing again next week.
The nice thing about this is, like, so we talk throughout the entire week, me, Matt, and Green Bean, and then Jeremy, Tigo, Domsey. We've got a group chat. We got 2 different group chats. We got the one with me, Matt, and Green Bean, but we have, like, our main group chat with, like, all 6 of us. And, like, some of the comments that get thrown around in there are a lot of fun. We have a good time. But a lot of times we don't necessarily discuss our thoughts on the Jets prior to hopping on, or even like just before the show when we're like in the backstage room before we go live. Like, we might mention like some things, but it's like, let's keep our mouths shut and like have authentic reactions to each other's comments on air, because I feel like the authenticity is such a big part of it. But yes, Matt and I we're acquaintances, solid acquaintances.
Yeah, we are. Safe to say that we are friends. Green Bean too. We've been doing this for so long. I feel like we all have a very close relationship, and I think that's what makes the show so good, is the chemistry. And also you add in, like, we don't really talk behind the scenes and everything. Like, none of this is planned. Like, we don't plan on talking about the Power Rangers or, like, I don't know, screaming about, whatever, this or that. It's
which fast food restaurant has the best French fries.
Yeah, exactly.
Organic,
right,
baby.
Right. Or, we didn't think that, we freeze Green Bean over a take or something. Like, I don't know. I'm very, very, I could honestly say I am very, very happy that I've linked up with Ryan and Green Bean all those years ago, and now still kicking the show, doing it every week. It's a blast. It's my favorite thing to do each week.
Dude, I look forward to it. It's the only reason, like literally the only show going on right now on this channel. It's just like, well, we don't want to get rid of it. Like, it's very easy to take the summer off, and it's like, well, I kind of want to hang out with my buddy Matt, and we miss our Green Bean. So, like, hopefully he comes back soon. Maybe he'll call in. Maybe we'll get him call in sometime. Be like, yo, I miss you, dude. Or I'll just call him on the phone while we're live. I won't do it right now because it's like 10 o'clock. Well, we'll get him back.
Maybe we'll have him like record a pre-recorded message to us, and we won't watch it. We'll just play it and react live with you guys.
Oh, I would love that. That would be. You know what? We should definitely do that. We'll send Green Bean a message. Blitzkrieg comes in with a super chat. I think it's a bunch of periods, and then an and. I have no idea what he's getting at.
Crossfire.
Thanks so much for the super chat.
I spoke with Crossfire after the show last week. So he's going to come in the clutch for me.
That's right.
Yes. So Crossfire is much appreciated.
Crossfire's a good dude. His electrical knowledge, huge.
Going to come in handy.
Infrared says Jordan Travis number 3, Garrett Wilson number 5, and 𝐀𝐮𝐫𝐚 are all fire. What?
𝐎'𝐿�0? Yeah.
Oh, that's what he's saying. Are all fire. Yeah, dude. Those are probably my favorite. Well, the JJ11 I think is the other one that I really like. JJ's 11 is the one I want. I really hope Olu changes his number. I don't really want to see him in 74.
Okay. What number would you like him to change to then?
Honestly, I don't really care. I think anything in the 60s or 70s is fine. I don't know if there's one that like sticks out as like an offensive line number. 74, I feel like just feels too close to Mangold. Like if you wanted to pick a number that was maybe worn by a good player in like the 80s, where it's like you've now had, 35, 40 years of like lag time. Like it's not even a decade since Mangold left.
I was gonna say, so Will McDonald doesn't bother you wearing the 99? Like, because I like the look of Will McDonald in 99. Like, I think that's awesome. Some fans didn't. They were like really upset that it was Mark Gaston. It was not the 74 doesn't bother me, honestly. I look at it as kind of like a passing of the torch, like how the Cowboys have like the 88. Where it was like
that's a good way to look at that.
And Michael Irvin, but I get it. I understand where you're coming from on it. I'm trying to think, like, is there anyone who has a number that I don't like? Quantez Stigger's number. Isn't he 36 or 37?
37 was 37 Hall last year?
Yes.
That was his number?
Yeah, he's number 37. But and I know that there have been players in the past at corner to wear that number and have successful careers. Just like I have a take, like I don't like the number 19 for quarterbacks. There has been very successful quarterbacks to wear the number 19. I just, from an aesthetics look, I don't like the number. I don't think it works. So for me, Quantez is the guy that I would like for him to change his number, maybe next year, because I think he's going to have a chance at playing time in 2025.
I think for me with quarterbacks, I don't know if it's 10 and below or maybe 14 and below. Like Vinny was 16, right? That's like too high for me. 15 is like maybe a tipping point. Like when I see 15, I see Tebow, so I don't really like want to see 15 on the field. I would say 14 and below feels like more of a quarterback number to me.
Well, I think 17 is a great number. 17 and 18 I think works, but
I guess 18 works because it was Manning, right? Who is 17? Like what would be a popular 17 quarterback?
Allen, Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, duh. Yeah, I guess
it's more the look of the number. 17 is also a good wide receiver number.
That's what I was going to say. I like the receiver number 17, I think, more than the quarterback. I can't even believe I didn't think of Josh Allen or Rivers. What quarterbacks have worn 19? I have no idea off the top of my head.
I believe Johnny Unitas is one, I'm pretty sure.
All right.
Yeah, he was 19. Was Joe Montana also? No, Montana was 16. That's an okay number. I don't have a strong feeling on it. 19 just looks weird. I don't like it.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable. I don't know if there's any other player that has a number that I don't particularly like right now. I think Olu's probably the only one that like irks me. Like I do think McDonald looks good in 99, but I could understand people not wanting it because of Gastineau.
What's up? Hassan Reddick in 7. An edge rusher in a single digit's weird for me. That's going to be my boomer take. I know that they changed it recently and opened it up for different positions to wear different numbers, and like the single digit for a corner, okay, I can get behind. But if you're coming off the edge, man, you got to be like, give me a number in like the 90s, maybe in the 50s, something like that. Like 55 would look good for him, I feel like, but 7, that's so weird.
Yeah, that's an uncomfortable number. Was Darnold's first year, I think, when they changed that? When we had was that Brian Burns? They switched the number on like just before the game to try and confuse him.
That was Zach Wilson, yeah, in 2021. Zach Wilson.
Oh, Zach Wilson, not Darnold. That's right. Infrared says, Will McDonald definitely bothers me with the 99. Yeah, see, I didn't grow up watching Gastineau, so I think I'm a little less impacted by it. I think Mangold, since he's one of my favorite players, like that maybe bothers me more. So I guess I could totally understand that same thought process.
The tough part is with so many guys on the roster, you carry 53 guys, and there's only, well, now I guess there's 100 because they added 0.
Mm-hmm.
There's only so many numbers to go around. So if you
and
get
right
into
now we got 90 guys on the roster.
Yeah. So it's hard.
I feel like you're going to see numbers shift once we get to like cut down day. Like I don't know if Olu's going to stay at 74. I feel like that number will change at some point. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just totally wrong. Palikar says, am I in the minority in being totally over Mangold? I'm almost sick of him by now.
Yes.
Yeah, you are in the minority. Yeah. That's a terrible take.
That is it. That can we put him in timeout for 5 minutes?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, sorry, dude. Oh no, I can't do it. I don't have the power. What the hell?
Sick of him by now. That's fighting words. Ryan's a big Mangold guy. You got the Mangold jersey. Your dad was really excited to see Mangold at training camp. I remember he was going out. He's like, oh,
stud
guy.
Love Mangold. Very upset. Not happy with you, Palikar.
Oh wait,
Crossfire says. Crossfire goes, I got you, Matt. Don't forget, I get a cuddle. I call Big Spoon.
Please. That is A-okay. I'll be Little Spoon. Little Spoon's nice sometimes.
Little Spoon is very comforting. Palikar. Ha ha. Booted. You get an extra one.
Listen, you're out of here.
Into the timeout chamber.
Is there, how about, for Palikar's comment, is there a Jet that you're tired of? Either past or present?
It was definitely Jamal. Jamal for me, I was so over. Now I'm like beyond it. We got we wound up on the better end of that whole bargain. I guess. Probably Zach. I guess Zach. Yeah. Zach's kind of the one that's like, man, I'm happy to be done with that era. I'm happy he's moving on. I never want to see him again except for week 4. Would love to go against him. On the roster right now, I don't think I have one that I'm like sick of.
Yeah, not like Zach's a good one, just because I felt like we had to talk about it so much. Like every single week, it was the heated debates. Yeah, that's a really good answer.
Ooh, Elijah Moore's a good one. Elijah Moore was definitely one for me for a bit.
That's a good one.
I didn't love when he got drafted. I took some heat for saying like I think he's immature. I think the whole piss game like said that. And like, oh, you can't do that. He's our draft pick. I was like, sorry. Don't kill the messenger. And then boom, vindicated. Jerks.
Yeah, I really liked Elijah Moore that first season. And then things started to get weird here too. Yeah. Things just got weird with him. That was strange, unfortunately.
Hackenberg, because he made number 10 announce his pick. So maybe a hot take. I think Christian Hackenberg might be the worst pick in Jets history because of what it meant in like what happened because of it. We took Hackenberg in the 2nd round and then wound up passing over Mahomes and Watson because we didn't want to admit fault. And then we gave up 3 second-round picks to go up and get Sam Darnold. You don't draft Christian Hackenberg, there's a very good shot you got Patrick Mahomes or Deshaun Watson the following year.
Probably. Yeah, probably. You're probably right.
Yeah. And then you have 3 second-round picks, and this team looks a lot different. I mean, it's definitely a wild butterfly effect for sure. It's hard to go too far down that rabbit hole. But I do think Hackenberg is worse than... I would say worse than Zach. Like, Zach hurt because we had to go through it the extra year that we were supposed to not have to go through it. But, like, I don't know. It hurts burning the 2nd pick.
I would still say... I say Golston is my answer still.
Agree.
He never recorded a sack.
Yeah.
But like Hackenberg and Wilson, I think are in the same. No, Hackenberg I would put higher than Wilson, I think.
Yeah, it's weird too because like it's like you're talking number 2 overall pick and the expectations that come with that. But for me, I feel like I can kind of like maybe I'm just doing like some weird gymnastics to like not put him in that same category. But like I think the COVID year through the evaluation process of all the quarterbacks wildly off. Everyone had him very high on their boards, and sometimes players just don't work out. Like I feel like at the time of selection, because of everything that went on with Deshaun Watson. Like, remember, the Jets' first plan was not Zach Wilson. Like, obviously, he was trying to tank for Trevor Lawrence, but our first choice was 100% going to be Deshaun Watson. We were going to trade a ton of picks to go get him. He wanted to play for Robert Salah, and then the allegations came out, and the Jets said, nope, we're going to the draft. So, like, I don't know. It sucks. Crossfire says, bippity boppity pillow.
It's that time. It's already 10 o'clock, man.
No, damn. All right. Let's go over to the, where's my spinning wheel?
Rigged.
Spinning wheel. Rigged spinning. I should change it to the rigged baggage claim. That's what I got to do. All right.
You know what? I'm looking at an odd number and I don't like it, so I'm gonna do one more winner for Nightbot in here to toss in.
Ooh, boys and girls, hit that like button if we can get up over 125 likes. We had another one too. Let's see if we get
the wedge.
The wedge. I always want to say the wedgie.
The wedge.
Yeah. Maybe the wedge is like, maybe he's a golfer. He's like, give me the wedge.
Wedge. We're at, should I refresh again? What are we at? I already liked it. 118. We're getting closer.
We're at 118. Crossfire jumping in saying rigged with another super chat.
Rigged because he's stuffing the ballot here.
That's exactly it.
The most expensive pillow on the planet.
Yeah, I was gonna say this pillow is I think only $25 or $20. Let's see. We're at 119. Come on.
At 119.
6 more likes. We got 158 people in here. There's at least 39 of you. Math. Wow, I did that fast. I'm impressed.
That was good.
I literally
119.
So now I got less people. Now I can't do the math. Now math is hard.
Are we calling it dead on arrival, or should I
think
do
so.
another
I think everyone who has wanted to throw us a like is tapped out. So we're at 120 likes.
So we're sitting at 29.
29. All right. So chat. First number to pop up after Eric Craig's Squish the Fish t-shirt, 1 through 29. Let's see what we get. 7.
Red John.
Red John. Congratulations on winning whatever the spinning wheel says. Make sure you reach out to us, jetstalk247@gmail.com or talkinjetshow@gmail.com. Link is in the description down below if you want to find it out. Get us your information. We'll send you out a thing that lands on. It's a hat. So you get to pick, there you go. You get to pick a beanie or a cap. Head over to talkinjets.com to check out what kind of hats we got over there. Different colors, things of that nature. Let us know, obviously. Boys and girls, we have reached the end of our show. So we're going to go around, give our closing thoughts. But before we do, oops. Hold on. We got Crossfire. If it's a pillow, I riot. Thank you, Crossfire. Before we head out into the night, boys and girls, if you have not done so already, in the pinned comment in the live chat, you can head over to talkinjets.com, get yourself a ticket to the Jets-Broncos game. We're going to go down on the field after the game. Really looking forward to it. If you guys are already season ticket holders, you want to come out, hang out with us, you can get the tailgate-only ticket if you want. If you're not, maybe you got your own tailgate going on, you want to get just the game ticket, you can get just the game ticket. Head over to talkinjets.com. We are very, very pumped to have this going on. Only got a limited amount of tickets, so if you're interested in it, make sure you jump on it while you can. Matt, any last words for our panel of you and I?
Yeah, just more on the ticket buy. I'm very excited for the event. Gonna be able to get out there, get on the field with everyone after the game. The tailgate's always a blast. You have a ton of options. So if you already have tickets to the Denver game and just want to hang out with us pregame, you could get a ticket to the tailgate. And as Ryan said, if you have another tailgate you're doing and want to sit with us, you can. Or even if you just want to come up and shake our hands and say hi, like we could do that too for free. You know, that's totally
walk
fine.
on over.
That's totally okay too. But really excited to see everybody. And yeah, we got it at 275 now. And before training camp, it's gotta go up. They're on sale now. So you get a discount if you act early.
Absolutely. Boys and girls, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. We will be back here 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock, not tomorrow. Next Tuesday. Jeez. Crossfire says, I'm buying mine after I charge Matt $86,000. LOL, I'm just kidding. I am buying it Friday. Crossfire, we're looking forward to meeting you. Crossfire gave away 2 tickets last year, and he was supposed to come, and then he had a bail on us at the very end there. So we're very much excited to meet Crossfire.
Yes, very, very excited for Crossfire, and hope the quote is somewhere under 86,000.
Under that.
Just a little. It's a touch.
Just a touch under there. Boys and girls, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Hit that like button on the way out. This is Talkin' Jets signing off. JETS.
Just go somewhere else. I can't take this nonsense anymore. How are you going to blame the defense?
I got the pouch. Screw green bean. Damn it.
But once you get to the sausage, I feel like we're doing something.
Go Jets.
And that's the other part of it, is that people are insanely jealous of this show. This show gets the best of the best, and it does it a different way, with positivity.
He scores!
Ow, my head! No, come on.
What would you give up to see a Jets Super Bowl?
All of my friends and family.
Hit those milk thumbs, boys and girls.
Freeze frame.
Hold on to your underwear, ladies. And stand by, bitches. It's now time for Talkin' Jets with your hosts, Matt, Ryan, and Green Bean.
Jets!